So after the past few months, we have been seeing SEALSQ have press release after press release after press release after press release after press release. And we've heard things such as how SEALSQ has announced partnership after partnership. Things and some of the press releases are regarding automotive cybersecurity. There's some that have been regarding artificial intelligence, obviously quantum computing and semiconductors. Don't forget about defense. We've heard a lot about defense as well, and numerous other things that we've been hearing. If you just simply go in the news release section in the investor relations tab in their website. And when people look at this at first glance, these announcements can seem disconnected, but after digging through the latest press releases, I think a much bigger picture is starting to emerge for the company. And today what I want to do is break down exactly what it is SEALSQ is actually building and why investors should be paying attention. So real quick, let's look at the price action. So SEALSQ is up nearly 5% on the day, currently trading at $2.55, up 11 cents. And going back to the investor relations tab, I don't think that management, and this is just my personal opinion, again, obviously not financial advice, but I don't think that management is trying to build one successful product. I do think that they're attempting to build an entire hardware security ecosystem. And with every announcement that we have been seeing recently, it seems to reinforce that idea. And instead of competing in just one market, SEALSQ appears to be positioning itself across nearly every major technology trend over the next decade. So the first attention that caught my eye would be the one that came out on July 13th regarding the Quobly $5 million commercial agreement. And to be completely clear, this wasn't just another research partnership because the company signed a commercial framework up to $5 million. So that is an important distinction to make. And commercial agreements suggest they're moving beyond collaboration and they're actually moving towards deployment, which is something that investors have been wanting to see for SEALSQ. And Quobly, what they do and why they matter, and just to give you guys some context overall, if you are unaware of Quobly, basically they develop silicon-based quantum processors using standard semiconductor manufacturing. Now, the reason that matters is because, the reason that matters is because one of the biggest challenges facing quantum computing is scalability. And instead of requiring completely new manufacturing techniques, Quobly is trying to leverage existing semiconductor production. And SEALSQ complements that by providing post-quantum secure semiconductors. Quick reminder before we continue, if you're enjoying the content and want to connect with the community, check out the first link below for the free InvestQ community. And if you want access to advanced stock research and tools, the second link is a Prophecy 7-day trial for just $7. And last, if you want daily market updates and behind the scenes content, follow me on Instagram using the third link in the description. Now, let's get back to the video. Also, some other technologies to take into consideration, if you scroll down just a little bit, would be regarding the root of trust technologies, the secure microcontrollers, and provisioning infrastructure. So together, the companies hope to build secure quantum computing infrastructure from the hardware level. Now, speaking on the technologies and the technologies included, management specifically identified several industries they believe that this technology could address. And specific areas that were mentioned are government computing, defense, national security, AI infrastructure, quantum data centers, financial services, healthcare, critical infrastructure, and secure cloud computing. Now, obviously, these are enormous long-term markets if commercialization continues progressing. Now, another interesting point that I saw in this article would be the companies, they specifically discussed strengthening, sorry guys, just a little bit tight up here in the neck area, but The company specifically discussed strengthening European technological sovereignty. And governments around the world are increasingly trying to reduce dependence on foreign semiconductor technologies. And that trend could create additional opportunities for companies building secure domestic technology stacks. Now, the interesting thing about that is just days later, you're going to see here that on July 15th, SEALSQ announced another strategic partnership. This would be with L5 Cartronics right here. And the goal is pretty simple. Their goal is to develop secure multi-package IoT modules for smart cameras and smart metering. Now, why this specifically matters is because this partnership combines L5's electronics manufacturing expertise with SEALSQ embedded security technology, and the companies plan to integrate SEALSQ's secure element directly into compact hardware modules. Now, that allows manufacturers to embed cybersecurity directly into devices instead of adding it later. And a few things that were highlighted in this article, management mentions that the solutions could potentially lower manufacturing costs. They could reduce design complexity, accelerate certification, improve time to market, simplify large-scale deployment, and if this is successful, that would make security easier and less expensive for manufacturers to adopt. So the first commercial focus will target two rapidly growing markets, and that is specifically smart cameras and smart metering infrastructure. They're showing it right here. I can't highlight it. I like it when I can put the clicker, but either way, it's fine. So both industries require secure device identities, and they also require encrypted communications, authentication, and lifecycle management. And these are exactly the types of markets expected to continue expanding as IoT adoption grows. And one thing specifically that really stood out to me in this article is some of the comments that management had, because they aren't describing individual projects, they're describing an integrated platform. They're also describing manufacturing, semiconductors, provisioning, security, authentication, lifecycle management, and other things. So I do think that when you take a step back, these specifically the addressable markets that these products fit into would be obvious things that we also mentioned earlier in the video. Things such as sectors and markets such as healthcare, defense, smart energy, industrial automation, automotive, you got critical infrastructure, and I could be missing a few, but overall, I would say, obviously those are markets that the product do fit well into. So obviously, that's one of the broadest hardware security opportunities that we've seen from the company, and in my opinion, it is a green flag. So when I look at everything announced over the last several months, I don't see random press releases. I see a roadmap. I see automotive cybersecurity. I see quantum computing. I see AI infrastructure. You got post-quantum cryptography. Obviously, we know about that. Mentioned earlier, you got root of trust technologies, commercial IoT deployments, and in my opinion, every announcement seems to build on the previous one, which I like about it. So what investors should watch going forward is not necessarily just for more partnerships. They should be looking at revenue, commercial deployments, customer adoption. You want to check to make sure that gross margins are improving. And at the end of the day, these metrics will determine whether this strategy translates into long-term shareholder value. And the opportunity does appear to be there. And it's a significant opportunity for the company. And the thing about it is, when an opportunity is presented, what matters the most at that point would be management actually executing. So I want to know what it is you think about the two press releases we covered in this video. Also, what do you think about SEALSQ? Please let me know in the comment section below. And please feel free to check out the the first link in the description below. I'm sorry. Let me just double check and make sure I got the right links, because I always have the same links each time. My apologies, guys. Having a little bit of a brain fart today. Pretty busy days over the past few weeks. Let me just check this out. So yes, the second link in the description below. Please check that out, because if you're looking for tools to utilize in your investing strategy or your trades, please feel free to check out that second link for a $7 7-day trial for full access to prophecy. So with that being said, guys, David with InvestQ out. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video.